Annyeonghaseyo.
I'm Demarsh Slier.
I'm Ariel.
And we're
Soju for Two.
Okay, so next is going to be our final review of Big.
Yes. Okay, so this just finished this week, so we're really excited to give you guys our final review. So the main cast, so we have Gang Yu plays So Yoon Jae / Kang Kyung Jun, and then we have Lee Min Jung plays Kil Daran, and then Shin Won Ho plays the other Kang Kyung Jun, the young version, and then Suzy plays Jung Mari.
Okay, so right away, I mean, I think the characters in this, like you talked about the cast, it was obviously an excellent cast. And I think that I think everyone who they picked for this did an amazing job. You know, I remember when we started watching this, and the first episode, when we have the Kang Jun as the younger guy, we right away were like, we love him. Like, I remember giving our first review, the weekly review, and we're like, oh, this is going to be tough. Like,
and the younger guy we had seen before in Bachelor Store. We've seen Gang Yu, obviously, in Coffee Prince.
I mean, you know, and I also with the main female lead, we've seen her in dramas. She was in Boys Over Flowers. You know, I think that this cast, the characters, you know, they just did such a great job.
And I would say that Suzy really did an amazing job.
I can't wait for her to be a lead again.
She did. She was wonderful, and she really surprised us with her acting in this.
Yeah, so if we're going to talk about cast, like, for us, this gives, you know, the characters were done so well by this cast of actors, and I think that is, like, almost a 10 for me. You know, we'll see what happens with the plot, but the characters were definitely excellent.
Yeah, so chemistry. So they had it. I think that the leads in this, Gang Yu has that presence where it really draws you in.
I honestly don't think he could be in a bad drama. Like, I feel like he is so compelling. He played an 18-year-old and a 30-year-old, you know, I mean, he played the different mentalities.
Yeah,
like,
and you could see that switch, like when he was 30, and that's, like, amazing acting. And
really,
what I also
really
love about him, too, is that not only is he just really good looking, but he really, like, brings that emotion. And when he starts crying, you really feel you're going to tear up. I mean, it's amazing. So, love triangle. So, this one is fascinating to me.
It is. So, I think what's so fascinating about it is obviously it's a big story. So, the whole notion is that they switch bodies, and of course, for a very long time, you don't know why they switch bodies. And them switching bodies sort of creates this really interesting situation because the man's body, who the young guy goes into, is getting married to the young kid's teacher. You know, it's such an interesting story. We find out later the connection is obviously much greater, but...
And what's interesting about the love triangle is that she's in love with Yoon Jae, but obviously she was in love with him as some sort of idealized version in her head. And then that idealized version sort of stays in her head until he gets cracked, so you think he's cheating on her. And then we find out he's not a bad guy, so she's still kind of in love with him. But then she really falls in love with, you know, Kang Jun.
And I think what was so interesting about that love was that you got to kind of see, like, a shallow love with Yoon Jae, sort of, like, you know, not really knowing anything about the person, but just sort of innocently falling in love with them versus, like, you know, I know all your faults, and I still love you kind of thing. So that was really interesting. And, I mean, if you're in somebody else's body and you fall in love with someone, like, obviously that creates some issues. So we knew, like, going into this, it obviously wasn't going to be, like, the most romantic drama because it was going to be, like, more of going through, like, feelings. You know, that really is what this drama's good at, is expressing feelings.
Definitely. So mistaken identity, misunderstanding. So the identity issue is huge.
It's huge.
I mean, that's, like, the whole thing.
And honestly, the identity issue will be the one thing we'll have a problem with in this drama in the very end. Obviously, if you've seen the end of Big, you're going to be confused with the ending. I've seen some people just, you know, give their reasons for what the ending is. But we've talked about it. You know, the ending is a little confusing.
As soon as I watched this, I watched it before she did, I called her and I'm like, Marsh,
you need to watch this.
You need to watch this and we need to discuss this.
And I think up until the last 5 minutes, I was like, great ending. You know, and then the last 5 minutes, I was a little confused. So.
Yeah, I think the misunderstanding there is really just the ending. So this show, it has sort of ends in a misunderstanding for me.
But that can't ruin the whole show for us. Like, for us, it's like, that doesn't really, you know, bring it down. I can reason out a lot of things with it. So, you know, the ending is a little confusing, but just stay with it.
Okay, so bad guy turned good. So I don't think we're a bad guy. I think we have immaturity, and I think we have growing up. And, I mean, if anything, I think Kil Daran's sort of character, she sort of goes from, again, being really naive to being, like, mature as well. And she was an adult. So it really was playing on that whole adulthood and what it means to be an adult.
And Kang Jun's sort of, like, abandoned. And, you know, it's sort of interesting to see how an abandoned youth, how they sort of cling to people who care about them, but like obviously, he had other people who cared about him, like Mari's character. What he really wanted was someone he loved and could love back, and and that was obviously the difference.
As opposed to like sort of the obsession of first love that Mari sort of had, which she was great at being that crazy funny person.
But she really cared. I mean, she did a great job with that funniness and also like the caring, compassionate friend.
Yeah, but she brought the humor to the show, which really surprised me. I did not see that coming. Okay, so piggyback ride.
I think there might have been one, probably not that many though.
But I feel like there was a bunch of cute moments. There was like the camping scene, there was a bunch of just moments that were really sweet.
I think that the details of of this drama was what made it really endearing.
The panda
it was
thing,
the little things, like the small gift, the sunflower. It was like little things in this drama. It wasn't like one big moment or they got married or something like that. It was sweet little.
I actually really liked that they didn't show the wedding because I feel like that would have been I feel like it would have been too much.
Yeah.
Because you really couldn't have had that wedding be the important thing because it wasn't really their wedding. Okay, so the final thing I guess we'll talk about here for most important for us is kisses.
Kisses, yeah.
So this one had a great kiss. And then we really only had kisses in the middle.
Yeah,
there was no
there's some like cute little kisses that happen like sort of randomly in the beginning signs. But yeah, there's just really one good kiss, and obviously like most people saw that because that was like the screenshot for like so long.
Yeah.
But yeah, that kiss did make it pretty memorable. I think the fashion was excellent in this drama. Gilderon's clothing, I'd wear all of it.
Okay, as a teacher.
Yeah.
I would like her entire wardrobe. So they can send it to me if they want.
I know.
I'd be happy.
You can dress like that when you're a teacher?
Yeah, I'll dress
probably.
like that.
Mari's clothing was awesome. I thought
yeah.
Gong Yu, when he was playing the younger kid, Kang Jun, he had great clothing. There was sort of a lot of like cigarette pant kind of style, like sort of short, and then like a lot of stripes. It was really interesting, sort of nautical.
Really modern, really crisp. The fashion was great.
Yeah.
Okay, so music.
I mean, I think the theme song for this was cute, but again, like there wasn't a lot of music throughout it that was really memorable to me.
Definitely. Okay, so our rating. So when we talk about rating first, we need to talk about the final episode.
Yeah. I mean, I think that for us, the final episode, just the very last minute, obviously spoiler, but
spoiler,
good things are going to happen. They're going to switch back, but I mean, obviously, there's a lot of trepidation about that. But the confusing thing is that at the end, instead of seeing Kang Jun as the 18-year-old again, even though we know they switch, we know they do because Mari says it. You see Gong Yu.
And then, so when I first watched this, I watched it partially unsubbed. So I was like, I kept seeing the outfit changes when they're
flipping. And I understood that. I understood they were flashing back to like the moment when feel this way, and that kind of thing. Like, think of the moment where you feel and exactly how you feel for loving me. And we understood that. I think for us, it was kind of like she was seeing him in that moment. That's how we're going to rationalize Gong Yu playing.
Because she fell in love with that face. That's what she was seeing.
Yeah. That's what we're going to say. Obviously, it was supposed to be, Kang Jun because he's wearing the watch, but we're a little confused why Gong Yu's acting in that. It's not going to ruin the drama for us at all. Because I'm just going to say that she's imagining him in that moment.
And honestly, let's think about this for a second, guys. If you could picture anyone to be your ideal mate, why not Gong Yu?
Yeah, so we're not going to be that mad about it. I know a lot of people were like, lame ending, they were really upset with it, but it was the last 2 minutes of the drama, so it's really not.
I think the reason everyone wanted to see the younger kid, be in this again, and we really liked him too. But I mean, Gong Yu is what kept us in this drama, so we're not really that disappointed.
No. So rating it, I think that for me, I'm gonna give this a 9.5. It was an excellent drama. I think the ending just obviously it disappointed a lot of people, but it disappointed me a little bit too, but I think the drama did what it was supposed to. It kept me completely entertained. I would recommend it.
Yep. I mean, I get 2. I give it a 9, 9.5. I think this was a great drama. The writing was excellent. Yeah. The characters were amazing, and I think that everyone in this, from Suzy, to Gong Yu, they're just great. Yeah. So the ending was weird, and I'm not sure why they did it. No. But
give us your interpretations of it.
Yeah, the fashion in the show, the
whole thing,
the characters, I think they were wonderful. So watch
it.
And don't get over this ending.
Don't let 2 minutes ruin it for you.
Seriously.
Okay, thanks.
Bye, guys.
Bye.